have a quote in my book that says, "I was the most successful when the people around me were successful too." I believe that from the bottom of my heart. And I see some of those people in the room. I know the successes they've had, and I've been part of some of those successes, and it's just a real treasure for me to be able to share that. So as I looked at where did this success come from, and I attribute it to connecting with positive people, I had to write about that. That's what I felt. In that creating a positive environment, I came up with some ways that we did that, and I started writing about them. And Mike picked out a couple that probably isn't what I would have first come to my mind, but that's what resonated with him. And I think that's the thing about this book. There are things in here that will connect with you in your world, in your life. A secret that I found out as I was writing, and I'm going to share it all with you right now. People are different. They're not all the same. The reason I talk about this is because these two groups of people, which is, by the way, about 50% in North American society in each, they do not see the world from the same way. And one group thinks the other group is wrong. Why did you run into that obstacle? If you'd only taken more time and got organized, you wouldn't have had that problem. Yes, but look at how much I've accomplished by getting going, getting in there, and getting this job done. You're taking so long to get going, I'd be bored with the whole process. These two things are happening all the time in any group that you're ever involved in. Sometimes people aren't comfortable talking about it, but they are thinking it. And here's what I learned, that it isn't about being right or wrong. It's just about being different, because personalities are very deeply ingrained. It's not like you can say, okay, I'm going to be a different personality tomorrow. That's not the way it works. I love being on teams. I've always loved it. I love the dynamics. And I've always thought to myself, every single person on this team is important. Not just the star, not just the general manager. One of the most important words that you'll find sprinkled in this book is the word respect. I talk about respect because I really believe it's a fundamental issue in having people feel valued and feel positive. The beauty of respect is that, and you've heard this saying, I'm sure, that you don't necessarily remember what somebody said to you, but you remember how they made you feel. And after I left the Gold Eyes, I went back to Home Run Sports for a while, then I moved on and did a few other things. One of them was I went to Sioux Falls, South Dakota to run a pro baseball team down there. And while I was there, I got a phone call. Phone call from this lady who said, "Are you the John Hindle that used to be in Winnipeg?" I said, "Yes." And she said, "Well, thank goodness I've tracked you down. I need to tell you that the day you came out to my school, you brought a couple of your players with you, and it was such a wonderful moment. You made my staff and my kids feel like it was the most important thing you were going to do that day." And I was quite humbled, and I said, "Well, that's very, very nice. Thank you. But ma'am, that was 5 years ago. What made you call me today?" And she said, "Because how you made me feel is as fresh today as it was 5 years ago. And I've had things happen in my life that I've realized that not everybody will do that. And I needed to say thank you." And I thought, wow. If you can impact people like that last that length of time, how important is it that that's the way we treat each other?